in the next 5 years with blockchain as infrastructure and token as kind of like the blood in the entire ecosystem, economic blood. And the AI is more like engines everywhere to enable more activities, more actions. And I think it's like a mandatory tool for the sustainability global rollouts.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Resilient Supply Chain Podcast. My name is Tom Raftery, and with me on the show today, I have my special guest, Sunny. Sunny, welcome to the podcast. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my pleasure, Tom. Very nice to be here. My name is Sunny. I'm a founder and the CEO of VeChain. VeChain is a layer one blockchain platform since forever. We started in 2015 and focus on sustainability, enterprise adoption from the beginning. And lately, in starting from 2023, we upgrade our strategy to focus on the sustainability angles and try to use the Web3 technology, motivate every individual to do positive actions, creating the positive impacts on a daily basis. So yeah, very glad to be here.
And what's your genesis story, Sunny? How did you get into blockchain? What made you decide to set up VeChain?
Oh, actually, it was a long time ago. I was actually working in Louis Vuitton as a chief information officer. And basically, my job was building up the bridge between business use cases and the technology solutions. And in 2012 and 13, roughly that time, very occasional opportunity, I learned about a Bitcoin. And the curiosity is kind of in my DNA. So from the first eye, I feel in love with this kind of the technology. And then start to learn more and more things about Bitcoin per se. I go to the bitcointalk.org to check every conversations, read about the white paper, even read about the codes itself. It's very lean, very impressive codes from the beginning. And then I'm an engineer, right? So I always have the mentality to try to solve the problem. I'm fascinated about the technology itself. Just think about, okay, what kind of the problem, what kind of the business use case can be addressed by this amazing technology? And in 2014, 15, my last global project in Louis Vuitton is actually track and trace. We built up the track and trace project across the whole Louis Vuitton global, covering manufacturing, warehouse, distributor center, and even the stores linked to even eventually lead to the after service to the customers. So whole life cycle of the products. So I'm start to think about like, okay, what about if I replace database by the blockchain technology with a unique feature like immutability, transparency, more collaborative to multiple players? That could be interesting.
Mm.
So that's the original idea. And the next thing you know, resign from Louis Vuitton and then create the VeChain. So, and by the way, VeChain short for verification blockchain. It was a startup, right? So basically, I just go to the GoDaddy and I try to look for any kind of available domain names.
Right.
And I start with a single letter, VeChain, okay, taken. And then start with two letters, VE and chain. Oh, $3 available. Okay, fine, I take it. So that's how I get started.
Okay. I have to say, I thought the VE in VeChain, I thought that was from positive rather than from verify, but okay, I can
Oh,
see.
I'm an engineer, so my thoughts is very direct, very straightforward. I build something for verification. Let's do a verification blockchain.
Okay, nice, nice. And setting up VeChain in 2015, was there a particular problem you were trying to solve, or did you just want to start a blockchain company?
Well, firstly, I want to start a blockchain company, and also with a very unique mission. Let's say I believe the blockchain technology, or nowadays we talk about as a Web3,
Mm,
not only about the blockchain, but also including other emerging technologies.
sure.
I believe that set of the new technology going to reinvent the world again. It's just like the internet did,
Mm,
30, 40 years ago. And I always believe the technology were not only just, for coins or for, very limited use cases. It should be vast. It should be like opportunity for every industry, every sectors. And every time think about to use the blockchain in different areas, draw the big picture about the future, I get super excited about that. So from the beginning, let's say to answer your question, I would say it's yes and no.
Okay.
The yes is I do have a specific use case. My last project in Louis Vuitton was track and trace,
Mhm.
right? And I try to, let's say, okay, with the blockchain that might introduce some new features, new functionalities, and eventually leading to new possibilities. But also no on the other side, and I believe blockchain can be everywhere. So I do have the original mission, which we never change after 10 years, is we wanted to bridge this technology to the real world. And massive adoption is always the theme for whatever we do.
And people still hear blockchain and they think speculation or they think massive
It
energy
is.
use. Why should supply chain and sustainability leaders care?
Honestly, for every new technology, always like that. Remember the internet bubbles in
Hmm.
the early 2000, right? There were like 99% of .com company falling apart during the bubble. So I would say every technology going through the similar pattern, similar historical stages, no strange or no different for the blockchain technology. But if you look at the fundamental features, transparency, decentralized, immutability for the data, it's kind of like designed for the new type of collaboration. I would say in terms of supply chain first,
Hmm.
it kind of enable a new way to collaborate each other. So you don't need to like trust a single entity and connecting to a centralized system, but more like you can easily collaborating with the data exchange. You can trust each other because the data verified by the blockchain, simply to say.
Hmm.
And sustainability on the other angle, serving as the next level, actually following our logic, think about like how we're going to upgrade from supply chain use case to sustainability is we actually just think about, okay, we already onboard some of the enterprise, some of the supply chains on the blockchain, and what the extra value coming from the data on the blockchain, right? With like the new type of value discovery or the new value coming from the unique feature
Hmm.
of the data on the blockchain with the transparency, with nobody can change that and trustworthy. And we come up with a sustainability because it's the biggest consensus of the humankind and it requires everyone's effort. So that linked to the decentralization. It cannot be a single mission or centralized mission for one country and one enterprise. It requires everyone's joint effort. So in general, we talk about the internet and even today's AI, I would call that kind of the technology for productivity, right?
Right.
You make the productivity rock to the roof. But the blockchain, it redefined the relationship among all of the participants, all of the players, whatever you are individual to a company or company to a government or a country to a country. So you redefine the whole relationship. That's what we call blockchain technology is a technology for new relationship. That's why, I believe supply chain was the first step
Hmm.
to onboarding the enterprise, migrating some business cases and processes on the blockchain, and sustainability considered as a low-hanging fruits to unite individuals and enterprise, even the governments, associations, together to do under the same passion, same belief, and to achieve some big mission.
Let's look at what this looks like in practice.
Mhm.
How is VeChain helping supply chains become more sustainable?
Let's say actually the idea about sustainability is coming from some of the use cases we have been doing since 2017, 18, 19. In the second stage of VeChain, around the 2019, we had a focus on the enterprise adoptions, right?
Mm.
We built the different type of supply chain type use cases. For example, like for sustainability management, for H&M, receive project for ocean cleanup, the carbon credits for BYD, food safety for Walmart China. And we summarize out of almost more than 100 different use cases. Firstly, there is a common spot in terms of the enterprise needs is sustainability. And second is the most of the closing or promising use cases try to enable the new relationship between enterprise and the individual customers or users is a sustainability mission. So basically, we wanted to, let's say, enable a new ecosystem to allow enterprise and the individuals can work together. For example, like we have a very interesting use case is called EVN. Basically, try to incentivize user to use electric vehicle other than the fossil cars, right?
Mm.
Very, very direct message, direct narrative. And we finished up the integration with Tesla. And basically, people can log in the EVN with Tesla accounts. And then every time you charge your car based on your charging capacity from the APIs of the Tesla system, and the smart contract will verify that and it give you the rewards right away. Very simple, right? And then think about the next step. Next step is, okay, we're serving, let's say, few thousands of cars, Tesla cars, and we're expanding to other brands. But what about if we start to serve 1 million cars or 5 million cars and 10 million cars? And how much carbon footprints can be collected from this type of the use cases, right? And also going further, whoever needs to tracking the carbon footprints, whatever is from enterprise or from individual users, can go through the same logic. So we basically can base on every activity among or inside of the supply chain or life cycle of the products and make every actions to be verified and calculated and getting the smart contract to incentivize everybody to go more sustainable way. You kind of make the entire supply chain from the big picture to be more sustainable. And also all of the data coming from this platform can be making a better prediction about who needs what or how to optimize the resource. So basically from the two angles can address that.
Okay, let me just approach this from a personal perspective. I drive an EV and I have a 5 kilowatt solar array on my roof. My EV is not a Tesla, but today the benefits I get from that, apart from feeling good about, not contaminating, is my EV is a lot cheaper to charge than it would be having to fill a car with petrol or diesel. And my electricity is a lot cheaper because a lot of it's coming from the solar panels on my roof. And I use electricity for everything at home. I don't have any gas connection. It's electricity for heating and cooling, electricity for cooking, et cetera, et cetera. So everything is electric and I have solar panels. But you're saying that with VeChain, if I were using particular providers like Tesla for the EV, or I don't know, maybe you do something with solar panels as well, I could be getting even more rewards of some kind for my positive behavior.
That's our angle. Actually, the current ecosystem we're building is called vbetter.com. Already have 45 different applications. EV is just one of the examples. And also the reason we start with Tesla actually is from the technical perspective, because Tesla provide quite a profound interfaces to allow the external developer to build the applications to connect into them. Sure, you need to get authorized by the Tesla, but they are quite open-minded, let's put it this way, or the infrastructure is much better than the others in the EV integrations. But we are working on the expansion with other EVs. Just giving a few months, your EV brands may be supported by this application as well. So that's exactly the logic behind the whole idea, is to incentivize people or motivate people with extra rewards to make the better choice or do better actions on a daily basis. And eventually, it becomes like a user behavior. And getting by time with more and more user growth, it becomes a new market needs. Like
Hmm.
if more people are like, oh, I want an EV, I want to using the electric vehicle, I want to use a solar panel, then that will increase the demands of the market and eventually leading to the renovation from whatever the supply chain or even the manufacturing, right? All of the manufacturers are actually based on the market needs. But right now, I think the biggest challenge to sustainability is the scale is not big enough for any kind of recycled products or sustainable products. And as a matter of fact, most of the time, your case maybe it's not even an exception. Let's say how much you pay for your EV, usually you feel like it's higher or more expensive
Hmm.
than the normal fossil car, right?
Sure.
It's actually linked to the demands of the market.
Mm.
But I give you another example. Tesla in Europe, I have a Model 3 in Milan. I bought
Right.
it and it cost me 65,000 euro
Wow.
for a Model 3. Right?
Wow.
It's pretty expensive,
Mm.
honestly. But the same car in China, same car is costing $30,000 roughly. I mean, in terms of the RMB.
Yeah.
Why? Because the Shanghai Giga plant can produce 1 million cars per year. And while the Giga plant in Germany, I don't know, maybe 250, 300,000 per year, that's what we call marginal cost.
Right.
So if bigger markets, bigger demands from the market, that means lower marginal cost for those manufacturers.
Yeah.
So what we try to do for real is to increase the demands from individuals. Let's say every time I drink coffee, I use this. I don't use disposable cup. And every time I clean up the garbage or I refuse to use the plastic bags.
Hmm.
So that will eventually drive to be a real market demands like, okay, we don't need to produce plastic for those kind of the bags and everything. Even it's very effective, it's convenient, but
Mm.
if no one use, why would I produce?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's actually the challenge, I would say, the major challenge in the sustainability world.
Okay. What kind of rewards are we talking about?
It's in the formal rewards, it's token. We call it B3TR. It's called better token. And now let's say for people receive the better token, either you can go liquidate in the exchanges in DEX, or you can top it to a credit card. And with our partners, you can pay for everything you want. So imagine you go to Tesla, charge your card, and you
Hmm.
receive $10, $15 as a rewards by charging your card. And next thing, you'll go to Starbucks and buy a coffee with this credit card, with the token you earned, and also with this kind of recycle mug, and you can get another rewards. So basically, we kind of using this repeated pattern to motivate users and eventually grow the real habits, other than just education, promotion. We just talked about it before this podcast about the Dana White, right? And
Yeah.
Dana, the first impression coming from Dana is he's telling me like, yeah, I don't like sustainability. It's greenwashed. It's basically like it just there's a narrative. Try to make some big enterprise making extra profits or something like that. And the people have to pay extra to be sustainable, right? But after I explained my ideas and try to, bottom up strategy, getting individual to be motivated and eventually driving the market in the right direction, he loves that. In nutshell, I would say he's not, as most of people think, like against the sustainability. He's just against the way of doing sustainability in the previous word. He more drive for impacts, drive for actions.
Hmm.
He's a more actionable guy. So as a matter of fact, as I shared with you in May, he came to our event with 4ocean.com. 4Ocean is a company as our partner to clean up the ocean for good, right?
Right.
And he came for 4 hours. Dana White, a
Mm.
billionaire, came for 4 hours. It was crazy. Everybody thought Dana just come over, take a photo, make a pose, maybe say something, calling to actions, and that's it. But we were in the jungle for a couple hours, pick up the 20 pounds garbage from the island by everyone, including Dana White. That's a good example to
Mm.
showing like how to use technology to motivate people to grow a nice habit and eventually drive the big collective accumulative impacts.
Okay. And I mean, tokens and rewards are great. Do you have some kind of gamification built into it as well, or is it just the rewards?
Yeah, for sure. Every application have a different type of the gamification. Something could be like you can doing the mugshot in a streak, try to win a big prize for like 30 days in a consecutive order. Or, you can have a lucky draw for some of the actions. Usually make it a 1 token, but lucky draw could boost up to be 20, 50 token. Yeah, there's gamification everywhere for each application. Basically we are the platform, right? So we
Mm.
run the ecosystem, we run the governance, but we let every external application inside of the VBetter ecosystem to play their own game.
Okay. And do you think tokens and gamification work better than awareness campaigns?
I think so. I think so. Firstly, when we talk about the crypto users, usually they're young,
Mm.
they like to have fun. They're not like stereotype professionals or old school. They like to be challenged. They like to explore the new things. So gamification definitely attracts them. And also when we think about the young generation, they're born from the internet. I give an example. My daughter tapped the TV screen when she was 3 years old. She was like, "Oh, dad, it doesn't work. It doesn't work," because she already get used to the iPad, that kind of stuff. That's a new generation.
Mm.
And also token, it kind of eliminated the barriers. And even for like a fractional rewards, it can be done very easily. And it's verified by the AI agent. It's a machine to verify your actions, right? And also there is no barriers like, oh, you're from Europe or someone from Singapore or someone from Philadelphia, someone from Nigeria. It doesn't matter. The token just go directly and with almost zero cost, like very small cost. And I think that's the best feature of the blockchain of crypto. It kind of, let's say, instantly you are able to go outreaching everyone in the world and allowing everybody to do the same thing. I think it's much more effective than the traditional way.
Okay. You've mentioned Tesla, obviously, but you've also worked with other companies like Walmart China,
Yeah.
BMW, San Marino. Any particular results from working with them that stand out?
I would say most of the cases are still running, but the enterprise is not like a crypto world. It's like evolving like super fast.
Mm.
The first implementation for Walmart, for example, it was starting from 2019. And until today, they are still running. And actually, our community is following the online transaction volume of Walmart, saying like, oh, are they still working or are they still generating? Actually, they're still running and expanding to cover more products. It's simply to say they're very happy about the results so far. They're generating much more productivity for that type of the collaboration because that platform is not only for Walmart itself, but also for the suppliers.
Right.
So when you have, especially about the food, is coming from the different type of suppliers, right? Everybody has a seamless collaboration because the data gonna go to this platform, verify the blockchain, stored by the blockchain for the trust. I still remember when we launched the platform, the research department made announcement based, as a results of this platform. They said one of the results is enable the problematic food tracking from 18 hours to 10 seconds
Mm.
because of that. Because you don't need to go back and try to verify this, verify that. You can basically to see like all of the lines of the data and just to see like, okay, what the problem could be from, right? And instantly you can find the problem for this problematic food and eventually also guarantee the food safety for the users.
Mm. Nice.
So yeah, they're still running that. Actually, recently we're still continue to onboard more brands. I would say there will be also a sports brands is coming on board. They have been using the platform for quite a while, but they also focus on the sustainability angle and they try to use their material, which is sustainable, recycled, and also wanted to, let's say, share and engage with their users, with their customers.
And in your white paper, you talk about a blockchain biosphere for sustainability. What does
Mhm.
that look like in action?
That's exactly what I just described. I believe the Web3 can really unite, connect the individuals and to do, let's say, to make the world a better place with whatever enterprise and government together. It's just a different roles, different people or different party playing the different roles.
Mm,
So the Web3 better for better is a narrative, is a theoretic paper, but realized by the vbetter.com. So vbetter.com is a ecosystem or platform enable different type of builder, whatever is coming from enterprise or coming from individual developers,
mm.
to build a different type of applications, incentivize people to do XYZ actions,
Right.
right? Like I mentioned, the Mark Shaw is incentivize people to do coffee without any disposable cup. And EV Earn is incentivize people to choose electricity vehicle other than the fossil cars. And even there are some interesting applications, like my daughter using one of the application is a scoop up. Scoop up means when you walk the dog, you
Hmm.
pick up the dog poops.
Right.
And you take a photo, verify that, you get some rewards. Keep the world a clean place. That's actually, you ask about the gamification part, and people like that. My daughter really enjoyed that. So in general speaking, so far we have been running for 15 months ish,
Hmm.
and there will be almost 5 million users, 4.95, something like that, 5 million users, and generating more than 36 million actions from all of the different apps. And also as a results, I give you some numbers. The plastic reduction, it's about almost 200,000 kilograms and 7 million watts energy saved, 9 million liter water saved, and also like carbon reduction is more than 5 million tons carbon footprints in the last 15 months. It's not coming from us per se.
Hmm.
It's coming from those 5 million users in the last 15 months as accumulative collective results, right? So
Right.
imagine with 10 times, 100 times, even 1,000 times today's scale, and the results is pretty impressive.
Walk me through it from a practical perspective, Sonny. If I
Mhm.
am a, let's say, a retail store like Starbucks, for example, selling coffee, or another retail outlet selling whatever, selling widgets,
Mhm.
how do I set up so that my users get access to your BTR tokens for doing good?
It's very simple. Let's say, for example, the Starbucks can be connecting with a POS system. Every time the user come to the coffee, use the recycle mug like this, other than disposable cup, then instantly you get a data to a smart contract. Well, we can trust the Starbucks, and then the people getting rewards. And actually, you can be also a marketing tool for those companies. Let's say
Yeah.
you can have a dedicated marketing campaign saying, okay, go to Starbucks Reserve in Milan, and for this couple of weeks, you get extra rewards if you come up with recycled mugs. Or the other idea is when you launch some mugs, new merchandise, new campaign in terms of calling the action from everybody to save the world together, either reduce the plastic waste or boost up some recycled product sales,
Mhm.
then you can use this way very easy. And you are targeting those users with the real actions and verified on the blockchain. It's
Yeah.
not like email campaigns. Only say you send 10 million emails, you basically talk about like 2% or 1% of the returning rate,
Yeah.
right? But with the blockchain, like, okay, this guy drinks coffee 10 times a week. and he uses a recycle mug all the time. So definitely he will be, let's say, loyalty customers for coffee and for the recycle mugs, and it will be more accurate marketing campaigns.
And for the likes of a Starbucks or another company who are doing that, how are they getting access to the BTR tokens to then gift them to their customers? Do they have to purchase them and then give them out, or how does that work?
Multiple ways. Firstly, you can participate in the vbetter.com. So every week, based on people's voting, like based on the users voting, for example, you say, I like EVN, I like a green card, I like whatever the application is, scoop up, and I vote for them. And then every week, there will be a token allocated. Basically, that part is bootstrapping every project. You can use that type of the supply to reward the user, or you can just buy from the market and then reward the user as well. So basically, make the whole ecosystem in a closed journey in terms of token supply and token flows.
And if you had unlimited
Mhm.
resources, what would you launch tomorrow?
I would launch a platform, scalable, able to support a 1 billion user, and also going every possible marketing campaigns to make everybody aware of that and join the ecosystem to be part of a 1 billion user.
Okay. And where do you see this all heading? Is that the final goal, or yeah, where do you see it all heading?
Yeah, that's my goal. My goal is to try to make this platform. So far, it's just 5 million user. I want to make it as 1 billion user at least. Sustainability is a mission to everyone, and it's the biggest consensus of the humankind, right? And we do have 8 billion people around the world,
Hmm.
and it could be growing up to be 10 or maybe 15 in the next 20 years. So 1 billion user, I would say, is just a starting point.
Okay. And where do you see blockchain making the biggest sustainability impact in the next 5, 10 years?
Well, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. Honestly, I think it's not only about the blockchain itself, it's about the AI and cross the blockchain. I believe the crypto eventually is actually designed for AI. Well,
Hmm.
eventually for people, but it's like a crypto for AI, AI for people, right? And the technology for productivity and technology for relationship should be working together. And whatever from the supply chain, sustainability supply chain, or the individual actions, basically, for example, like a vbetter.com right now, all of those applications is based on, it's a machine to human. You provide your actions proof. I pay you token. I reward you token for that. And also it could be human to AI. It could be even AI to AI, different type of scenarios. And I would say in the next 5 years, with blockchain as infrastructure and token as kind of like a blood in the entire ecosystem, economic blood, and the AI is more like engines everywhere to enable more activities, more actions. And I think it's like a mandatory tool for the sustainability global rollouts.
And of the ideas or the apps that are currently available, you've got EV charging,
Mhm.
fashion, the scoop up you mentioned, etc. Which of those apps excites you most, and why?
We got a two application actually. Well, like I said, I'm an engineer, right? Based on solution, based on the results. Right now, two application like a mugshot and a green card, they actually pass 2 million users bar.
Hmm.
They're leading the way, and I expect them to continue to lead. But also, I would calling the actions to all of the builders. 2 million is good, but it's not that big number.
Hmm.
I'm sure you can have a brilliant idea, extreme iterations, and continue to drive for user growth. And only when we have enough or certain level of user scale, and we were able to explore more business opportunities, business models, engaging with more enterprises. So yeah, I would say like so far, Maksha and Green Card is leading the way, but looking good for almost every applications. But it requires extreme effort with the startup mentality from every developers.
If Tony Stark got his hands on VeChain, what would he build first?
I would say Stark will build the AI agents leveraging with our blockchain ecosystem and make it more user friendly to user, like getting a Jarvis to be the personal assistant for everybody.
Mhm.
Do this, do that, remind me this, remind me that. Or simply to say, like, okay, I want to meet someone for a coffee in Jarvis. What's your suggestion? Right? They will come up with the most sustainable options and remind you to bring your mug, even help you to submit the proof to getting the rewards and also guide you to the next step as like your personal assistant for the first.
Mhm.
And also with, well, we don't need the Iron Man, the whole set, but at least, for example, with the AR glasses, like Meta Glass, and you will be make the user journey even easier, right? But right now, you need to take a photo for everything you do,
Yeah.
or connecting your car or connecting different type of the IoT devices. But if you got a Javas, and then you got to just ask the Javas to do everything behind, and you don't need to get your hands dirty, and you still do your actions.
Okay. A left field question for you, Sonny. If you could have any person or character, alive or dead, real or fictional, as a champion for blockchain for good, who would it be and why?
Actually, I have multiple options, and I'm greedy. I wanted to have many people to do that. I wanted Steve Jobs to be my product manager, to design
Right.
the best product ever,
Mhm.
and also one of my like personal idol, like a Kobe Bryant, to share that kind of fighter mentality. You never give up, even you have your anchor breakage, you
Mhm.
just walk it off. It's really like tough guy mentality. And I wanted to have that kind of like a mentor, always inspiring us, not only me, my per se, but also in my entire team to fight until our final destination.
We're coming towards the end of the podcast now, Sonny. Is there any question I haven't asked that you wish I had, or any aspect of this we haven't touched on that you think it's important for people to be aware of?
Not much. I think we talked a lot. Well, if you, let's say, if all of your audiences are curious about what's the recent updates, just follow us on the x.com. VeChain Official is our official account, or visiting the VeChain.org for more updates.
Perfect. Great. Okay, Sonny, that's been fascinating. Thanks a million for coming on the podcast today.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.